Yo, what's going on, guys? So, I want to talk about knowing your numbers, right? Especially if you have an info product business, you have to know your numbers. You have to know your numbers. This is where I messed up. I wasn't tracking my show up rate. I wasn't tracking my closing rate. I wasn't tracking how many appointments we're booking. I wasn't tracking any of that information. And that information is extremely important because you need to know how you're going to be able to make decisions in your business, right? Because at the end of the day, and the more I'm starting to realize this when it comes to business, business is literally all about your decision making skills. And if you don't have the right data, then your decision making ability is not going to be good. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to be able to make the right decisions based off the data that you're given or the data that you even input. So in terms of show rates are very important to track, the types of conversion, the types of people who go to your calls. And I'm talking about the sales perspective, right? But even in the marketing front, right? Like, what's your cost per click? What's your cost per book call? What's your cost per customer acquisition? What's your return on investment on every dollar you spend on ads? You have to know that data because let's say for whatever reason, one of your ads is outperforming another, let's say one of your organic funnels is better than your ad. You're like, okay, we need to spend more time on organic if it's outperforming ads. Or let's say one of your ad sets are doing extremely well. That's when you're like, okay, we need to scale this up because you want your winners to grow and you want your losers to die. That's kind of how it is in business. So you cannot be the person who doesn't want to track numbers. I used to be this way, and I'm this way. I'm trying to fix this issue where I'm not tracking my numbers, right? And without that data, I cannot make a smart decision. I genuinely don't think I can because I'm just going to be making a decision based off vibes, and at the end of the day, that's not going to help you reach your potential goal, right? So that's kind of where I've been screwing up for so long. And I'm just like, damn, like I'm such an idiot for that. But now I'm like, okay, now I gotta log in. Now I gotta check my show up rate. I gotta check this data. That way, okay, now we know, okay, for every dollar I put in, for every input I put in, I'm going to expect a certain output, right? And then once you can kind of get to that point, it's gonna be easy to scale up your ads. It's gonna be easy to do so many more things once you get to that point. But to even get to that point takes a lot of effort. And it's not something that you can just like figure it out on your own without tracking that data. So that's kind of what I wanted to kind of explain to you guys, because I mean, in the info product space, as you guys know, we're selling information, we're selling info products, right? And I mean, we kind of have it nice, you know. We're not like in the e-commerce space where your profit margins are so minuscule, or like a brick and mortar business or a restaurant business where you're literally on thin ice with those profit margins. Since our profit margins are extremely high on the info product space, we kind of just ignore, like, oh, we're like, oh, who cares? Even if I hit 30K this month, like, even if it's like whatever, like I'm still like 80% profit margin. No, you got to know every freaking number. You got to track every little expense. And the thing is, man, there's so many damn expenses in your business. I didn't even realize it. We're spending so much money on software. We're probably spending almost closer to $1,000 on just software. Because I was just looking at, oh my God, we're spending money on Zoom, on Loom, on Go High Level, on all these other iterations like Zapier, Typeform, and all these softwares, right? And you're like, damn, I'm spending so much money on everything. This is actually insane. So it's like, you have to remember, know your numbers, know your sales, so you can actually make the right decision based off the data that you're given. Because at the end of the day, business is a game of decisions, right? And I think I've seen a video and someone says business is an intellectual warfare, right? Because at the end of the day, what does that even mean? Like, we're not fighting with guns and bullets and knives and swords. We're fighting with decisions. We're fighting with who can make the best decision that's going to result in the best result, right? It's literally that. Like, that's kind of how it is with business. For example, some of the greatest businesses, they pivoted based off one decision, right? I remember I used to be really, really into bikes, right? Like super, super into bikes. And I was like, damn, this is amazing. Like cycling, right? And there was this company called Aventon, right? Aventon. And if you look them up right now, they sell e-bikes, right? But way back then, they used to sell, I don't know if you guys know this, but they used to sell just regular bikes. Just regular bikes. They didn't have an e-bike market. But for whatever reason, they started selling like one e-bike, and that e-bike started popping off, and like, screw it. They pretty much got rid of their whole fleet of regular bikes and just went straight to e-bikes. So now Aventon now is seen as an e-bike company, when in reality, when they started, they weren't an e-bike company. They were just selling regular, fixed gear or single speed bikes, like very simple bikes. And now they're selling e-bikes because that's their whole market. And yes, did some people get pissed off by that? Sure, right? I like their actually regular bikes. I never even ridden their e-bikes, but they pivoted based off that decision because they know, okay, they're making more money selling e-bikes. Why not just pivot? And they went crazy with that, and now they're wildly successful, right? So that's the thing with info products. Yes, we do have the advantage where we have extremely high profit margins, very low expenses, where you kind of want to be lazy with tracking. But I know tracking takes time. I know it's annoying. I know you don't want to do it, but it's a very high ROI activity for that particular reason, because you can make that one decision, right? Like cutting this ad or scaling this ad, and that can literally 10x your business based off that decision. But if you make a dumb decision, right, because you didn't actually track any data or any information, you're going to be cooked. You're literally going to be cooked, and you're going to be making mistakes in terms of when you run your ads or whenever you start your business or whatever you do. So guys, please track everything in your business to a T, every little thing. I know it takes time. I know it's annoying. There's a lot of automations that you can do, and I'm trying to find more automations. And if you guys have any automations for that, please let me know, because that's a huge thing I'm looking for, is how do I automate this process? Because like I said, this is a high ROI activity, right? Because you're looking at you're collecting data. Like there's companies literally pay people, right? They're called data analytics people or data scientists, for them to literally look at data. And guess what? What do they do from that data? They make decisions based off that data, right? And if Facebook's doing it, if all these companies are doing it, why are you not doing it, right? You have to ask yourself that question. So get good at tracking your data. Know your numbers, right? Know your numbers. If you guys ever go to Shark Tank, I'm pretty sure there's some on my screen. Did I crack it? By the way, I'm using a DJI camera. I'll look at it later. But Shark Tank is a really, really nice show, and they basically talk about this all the time, where some people, they don't even know the numbers. They don't even know what the hell's going on. And when that happens, it's like they ask them basically they ask them okay, what's your sales? What's your projected annual revenue growth? Like the people who are sharp and know the numbers, they usually get the deal on Shark Tank. The people who don't get the deal are like, I don't even know. Like if you don't know your numbers, you are out of Shark Tank. Investors don't even want to talk to you, right? So know your numbers, know every single thing. Get good at that. I'm trying to still get good at that right now. And once you get to that point, guys, then you can make strategic decisions based off that. That's how you actually see improvement, right? But yeah, know your numbers. That's all I wanted to bring up with you guys. Hope you guys have a good one. I'm literally about to go to the gym, and I'm stopping by 7-Eleven right now. So by the way, if you guys like this channel, like I said, I don't know who's going to see this video. This is a new channel. But if you guys like this concept or these types of videos, let me know. I'm going to be trying to making daily uploads about my business journey and all that stuff on the info product space. But thank you guys so much. We have a good one. Peace.